Hi guys, happy Valentine's week. Hopefully you all had a great week. Welcome to our Ask the Provider live event. Oh my goodness, I had a really great week. And I'm supposed to be really eating well, but can I tell you, I had chocolate, I had cookies, I had cupcakes. So as we're waiting for folks to log on, I just want to say welcome to our Ask the Provider live event today. We're going to talk about a really exciting topic that folks are asking, which is amazing. And so hopefully we'll get a chance to cover and maybe give you answers to those questions. Hopefully you all had a great Valentine week. The Residential Home Care Network is an amazing organization that started about 1.5 years ago. And it's a bunch of assisted living facilities as well as adult family care homes that got together and said, hey, we need to start talking. We need to start communicating because families don't know that we exist and that we're a really great resource for them. So today we're going to share some information about the network, who we are, what we do. And then in addition to that, we're going to have our topic, and then we're going to talk a little bit about our sponsors that are so generous towards us, and then wrap up. So in 30 minutes, we'll cover quite a bit of ground. But to just a little bit of background, the Residential Home Care Network was started 1.5 years ago. And the purpose of the network is to make sure that families, caregivers, social workers, just community folks that serve the senior community know that we exist. So we're a bunch of adult family care homes and assisted living facilities that serve in the private home community. It's private homes providing personal care. That's who we are. And we are growing strong. We have 3 network chapters right now. We have an Orange Seminole chapter that meets monthly at one senior place, which is amazing. So we have a home there. We meet monthly on the first Thursday of every month. We will meet at 12:30 to 2:30. It's free for members of the network. For non-members, it's $10 and lunch is included. So you're certainly welcome to join us and come out and ask the providers your question. Who better else to ask questions about caring for seniors and what it entails than folks that are actually fully vested, right, in caring for your seniors. So we're excited about that. So we meet monthly at one senior place. And then we have an Osceola chapter. We have a Lake County chapter. Those chapters will meet quarterly in 2017. So more to come on that. If you need to reach us, by the way, for example, this is our Ask the Provider forum. And this is where you can come and ask the provider, i.e. me, any question that you might have, right? And so our email is asktheprovider@gmail.com. So you can simply log on and say, hey, I have a question about so and so and so. And we'll be delighted to go ahead and try to, if we can't find the answer, at least direct you to the right person that you can get answers. Hey, Renee, so good for you to join in to our Ask the Provider live event. Then we have our website. Now, our website showcases all the premier member facilities. Now, this is exciting because let's say that you're living in, I don't know, California, or you're living in New Jersey. You can go to our website, which is residentialhomecarenetwork.org, right? And you can actually tour our homes, which is really neat because right at the comfort of your home, you can actually go on and tour the facilities in question. Then you have contact information to speak with the provider directly, which I think is very helpful. So that's just another way for you to reach out. In addition, we also have testimonials, believe it or not, on our website. And the testimonials are from happy families. It's just giving you another perspective on senior care. Many family members, when you start talking about transitioning, it is a very difficult conversation. It's hard to give up your home. And so this is just sort of that balance between, okay, I have to leave my home, but I really am not ready to be in a nursing home environment. And so we're that middle ground. Generally speaking, it's 16 beds and under. That's considered residential. So we just wanted to share that information with you as well. We are very active on social media. So as you can see, we are on Facebook. We do our Facebook Live every Thursday. You'll get an opportunity to meet different providers. Whoever's available will actually host this 30-minute segment. Hi, Miss Bev. Good to see you too, darling. Hey, Jody. Glad that you're popping in. So each week you'll get to meet another provider. They'll come on, they'll share different things about the network, and this way you'll get to put a face, to the people that are actually caring for your loved one. In addition to having the different chapters and our meeting locations, we also put out a reference guide, and that's produced quarterly. To get your hands on one of them, you can either email us at asktheprovider@gmail.com, and we're happy to go ahead and get a copy to you. Or if you're over at One Senior Place, they're in the back in the library, so you can just pick up a copy. The reference guide lists many of the providers that are on board with the network. Not everybody has jumped on board yet. We are very hopeful, but this is just a way for folks to have immediate hands-on information on folks that are willing to care for your seniors in a private home personal care setting. So that said, one of the questions that I'm often asked and that we're going to try to tackle today, and of course as we're going along, if you have a comment or a question, just jump in and say, hey Marcy, what about this? So we're often asked, how much is this going to cost me to care for mom and dad in an assisted living facility or an adult family care home in a private home? And that is a genuine question. It's a real question. There are families that believe that their Social Security is enough. I had a tour recently, and this lady pretty much just said to me, oh, I'll just give you my mom's Social Security check and that's it. No, not quite, because mom's Social Security check I think was like $900, and it doesn't work that way, right? Levels of care will determine kind of how much you're going to pay in an assisted living or an adult family care home, in our private home personal care community. And so if your mom or dad or cousin, whoever it is, doesn't have a great need, you may be able to find a facility, say under $2,000. The typical going rate for a shared room, and that is where you'll have a roommate, is somewhere around $2,000 to $2,500 per month. And in a private room environment, it could be $3,000 and up. Once again, this is depending on the level of care. So let's say you have to be placed in a memory care environment where this particular person is exit seeking and they're always trying to escape, if you will. And they need 24-hour supervision. So that means somebody has to be there all the time. That's a real issue. So you're going to find that it's going to cost you a little bit more. Who pays for this? I will tell you who does not pay for this. Medicare does not pay for your long-term care needs. So if you are still young and you're not sure about down the road, will I have enough? Start looking at long-term care insurance. Start looking at other viable means, because I don't want you to think that your Social Security check is what's going to get it done, because it just doesn't work that way, right? So your level of care is going to be the key factor. So as you're out touring, so let's say you're a caregiver, and as you're out touring, you want to be very honest. When your family meets with a caregiver, with a provider, you want to be honest and let them know what they're working with, right? If you know this particular individual is combative, it could be mom, it could be dad, it could be anybody. If you know they're combative, or they're resistant, or they're going to want to jump over the fence, those kinds of things, that'll help us to determine the proper place for them. I know in my facility, I could not take someone who is a jumper, if you will, someone who's going to try to open the windows and escape, because this is a private home, right? And so therefore, a facility that's more secure would be safer for them. So we're here to be that support where someone is not quite ready for a nursing home or not quite ready for the larger environments that provides a little bit more security. Not to say that there are some that are memory care units that are in a private home. And those that are in a private home in a memory care unit, let me tell you, these guys truly have their security protocols in place, and they have 24-hour staff. And because the ratio, right, of maybe 1 or 2 staff members to maybe 6 clients, they get to see when anybody's going anywhere very quickly. And so they can make quick decisions about helping your loved one remain safe. So those are the kinds of things. Your level of care is going to drive the conversation. So I want you to keep that in mind. Your Social Security is not going to be enough. I promise you. I've been at this now since 2014, and I've heard everything that came across my table, and I am amazed. Something to think about, particularly the baby boomer generation. We're not prepared. That I am the baby boomer generation, so I say that we're not prepared, right? I think the previous generation did a really much better job in maybe saving or putting things in place. But I see the baby boomer generation coming along. Many of them have, wiped out their 401ks. They've done these, not put measures in place. They're not looking at long-term care insurance. They're not looking at anything. And life continues to happen. You could have someone that's in their 60s that develops Alzheimer's. And you as a caregiver, you still have to go to work. Where are you going to place them? Who's going to care for them? How much is it going to cost? So I want you to start having these conversations with your family so that they are prepared. And if they're not prepared now, to start planning for when life happens. Okay? My loved one had dementia. And so I could not care for her anymore. She could not be left alone anymore. And so I had to place her in that environment. In her situation, I had to get her on that Medicaid waiting list. And as I got her on the Medicaid waiting list, it took 8 months. Keep that in mind. There are programs available to help with the cost of care if they are a Medicaid client. But these are things you have to do some research on. The mailing list many years ago was 8 months. I have no idea what the waiting list is today. But please understand, there is a great need for help with cost of care, and it's time. If they don't get off that list in time, then the money comes out of pocket. So to kind of recap, $2,500 is your typical shared room cost. On the lower end, $3,000 for private on your lower end when you don't require that much level of care. You're going into higher levels of care, your memory impairments, those kinds of things, it goes higher than that. And that's the reality. All right? And it's kind of the industry standard is around $2,000 to $2,500. You can find facility owners that do not have staff designated. They do all the work themselves, and so they may charge someone a little less. So keep that in mind. If you have any questions while I'm going, please just throw them in there. Hopefully that gives you something to think about. Now, every week, we also like to showcase one of our partners. And so today, I wanted to showcase one of our sponsors that's on our website. We have Vitas Healthcare as our premier sponsor. So you will see them on every single page of our website. They're a tremendous partner of ours. Typically, for the last year and a half, they have been the ones who have been instrumental in just hosting our lunches and introducing us to different facilities and providers and making connections. And for that, we're eternally grateful. And then we started inviting community partners to come and board with us. And one of the community partners that is really someone I just dear to my heart. I love Mark Lloyd and his program is Passport for Wellness. If you have not heard of Passport for Wellness, this is really great, a great tool. And you don't have to be a facility owner, believe it or not. So write this down, passportforwellness.com. It's an amazing wellness streaming 30-minute entertainment, exercise, and activity program that works on active seniors, right? They do it with episodes. So each episode has entertaining storylines and interesting experiences and trips around the world. So let me give you an example. So I signed up with them a year ago, and when we have our activity, I don't necessarily sit there with a ball and toss it to my resident. We get it streaming online, and they love visual aid. This is phenomenal. But each exercise activity is based on travel. So let's say I click the button and I go, ladies, where do we want to go to today? And I give them some options, and they go, hey, we want to go to Hawaii. Well, guess what? I click on the button for Hawaii, and the exercise activity program navigates them through different historical landmarks and places in Hawaii. And they are exercising all the while. They could be seated, their hands are raised, they can be doing all kinds of movement with their feet, their arms, their legs, all the while traveling through Hawaii. So in my environment, what I do is we kind of put leis on. At the end of the exercise event, we may have macadamia nut ice cream. We may have pineapples. Just really interesting way to tie in the whole culture of Hawaii. And then it also gets them to talking, right? Because there are questions throughout this whole history journey. And they can talk about, when I went to Hawaii, what was it like? And share experience, or go, ooh, remember that? So this tool is an amazing tool, and I would highly recommend it. It's less than $7 a month, y'all. $7 a month. I don't know where you can get anything less than $7 a month. But it is amazing. You go to their website. If you're caring for a senior, they're only about 20-minute modules, but we have gone to Germany, we've gone to Spain, we have gone to Hawaii, we've gone to all these locations, and we haven't left the living room. How cool is that, right? And we just theme them around the different locations that you're going. So I would support Passport for Wellness. They are a true community partner of ours. When you go to our website, you will see their link on the Community Resource tab, and you can click on there. You can send an email over. Jennifer Foster is the new producer director, an amazing person to talk to, and you can get started with that. Also, as each week, each facility comes on board, we're going to be showcasing them not only on our website as a Premier member, but we also get to showcase them as our Premier Member of the Day on our Facebook page. Hey Laura, good to see you. You came on at the perfect time because I'm getting ready to talk about you. And so, for example, Laura Day is our newest Premier member that came on board with Bridgeport Senior Living. And today on our Facebook page, you can go and see a video tour of their facilities. And I said facilities because there are 6 beautiful memory care facilities that are managed by this amazing organization. So if you have a loved one that's struggling with memory impairment, that is definitely one of the facilities owners that you might want to reach out to and give a call, right? So that's just one, but every day we try to showcase one of our Premier members. So at home, you can see what's being offered. You have their contact information. This network is all about bringing us to you and bringing you to us, right? So this gives us, hi Carolyn, I'm glad you made it. This gives us an opportunity to be able to share, because we love what we do. It is a privilege every day to get up and care for the senior population. An absolute privilege, right? So we are delighted that we can talk about the different facilities. For those of you that are just logging on and missed the first part of our talk, today's conversation centered around the cost of senior care in long-term care, in terms of assisted living or adult family care home environments. So I'll just recap again. Forgive me for those that have listened to me go on and on. But for those that are just coming on, just remember, Social Security is not going to be enough to care for mom and dad and sister or whomever when you get to the stage where you need to live in a long-term care facility. A lot of families think that it's going to be, but it is not. So you're going to have to think about private pay. You're going to have to think about maybe long-term care insurance. And so if that's something you've never even thought about, discussed, One Senior Place is an absolutely great resource for you to go get information. That is sort of your one-stop shop, right? So we have our meetings there every single month. I encourage you to go down, guys, and start having that research so that you can better plan for it. One of the reasons I think this is important is because we come across so many seniors that have incomes of less than $1,000. And so the big question is, when they get to be where they have memory care issues and those kinds of issues, where are they going to live? Who's going to care for them, right? And so I don't want us to get caught off guard, because this is a very real issue. Yes, if you're a Medicaid client, there is a program available that can help with the cost of care. But once again, there is a huge waiting list, and there's paperwork involved and all that great stuff. I know, because I really had to go through that procedure to get my loved one on the list, if you will, and it took about 8 months for them to call her name. So just wanted to keep the, hi Vanessa, thank you for coming in, joining the conversation. But I just wanted you to think about the cost of care. Please, please, it's better to start planning now while we're on this side of youth than to wait until we actually need it. For some reason, we find more and more younger individuals are developing dementia. They're developing Alzheimer's. One of my residents, young lady, young, in her 60s, has Alzheimer's. That was unheard of many, many years ago. But here we have it. Guess what? She can't live alone anymore. Her family had to place her in an environment. They weren't prepared for that, not at such a young age. But here we are. So today's conversation was just to bring awareness for you guys to start thinking about that, and awareness for you to start planning for it, because your Social Security check really is not going to do it. Any questions so far? Good. So for those of you who also came on late, just as a reminder, the Residential Home Care Network is a network of adult family care homes and assisted living facilities that are 16 beds and under. And our hope is to let you know that we are a really great resource to care for mom in a private home, personal care setting. Our ratios are maybe 2 to 4, 2 to 6. If mom or dad wants a bath every day, we are able to do it. Whereas in a larger facility, maybe they don't have enough staff to be able to do that. That's what we ran into with my loved one. So just giving you that option to know that that's why we're here, to give that one-on-one care. Carolyn's question is, how do the residents get help for extra assistance financially? So as we stated earlier, a great resource is One Senior Place. They have so many provider information, so much information there. This is a great one-stop shop. All right, you don't have to go it alone. Go in, talk to a case manager, let them know your situation, and they can help navigate you through that. They are the subject matter experts. Do not rely on your provider, because that's not what we do. Okay, we provide care. But in terms of you're getting those documents completed and all that great stuff, you need to talk to someone who's a subject matter expert. They are in Altamont, One Senior Place, on Douglas. I think it's 715 Douglas Avenue in Altamont Springs. So that's a really great, so they have a wonderful reference library in the back. So reach out to them to get the help that you need to educate yourself, if that makes sense. My goodness, where does 30 minutes go? Once again, it's right around 6:24, and I can talk, can I? Hopefully you all had a really great Valentine week, and hopefully the information that we provided today was helpful for you. Next week we'll have another provider that's going to be talking about a totally different topic, and we invite you, the Facebook audience, to send in your questions. That's why it's called Ask the Provider. We get asked a whole bunch of different questions, but you really, we want to meet your needs. So if you have a question that you've been toying with, or you're caring for someone that you're at your wit's end, that's why we're here. That's why we do this. And so I would love for you to share this with everybody that you know. Let them know, hey, these gals and guys doing the Ask the Provider live event every Thursday. You can get your questions answered, and we're happy to do that. And with that said, don't forget, asktheprovider@gmail.com. Go to our website at residentialhomecarenetwork.org and connect with us on Facebook. My time is up, and I thank you for yours. Have a good weekend.